I don't think so. I think he has expressed the view that in some of the past negotiations by previous administrations, he believes the United States didn't get as good a deal as they should have gotten, and that as a result of that, our economy has suffered to some extent. He clearly feels strongly about American companies that relocate overseas, hire cheaper labor, and then import that product, whatever it is, cars in Mexico, back into the United States. And he's intervened in some of those transactions, made it clear that he wants them to build that new factory in the United States instead of elsewhere. At this stage, I don't see that as fundamentally undermining the whole proposition. We'll see as we go forward. I don't think, if you look at the United States and all that we benefit in terms of our access to markets and the access of others to our markets, it's very clear that we benefit long term from those developments.
If I may just move to India for a bit, and considering Mr. Modi had a great relationship with President Obama, and there was a considerable bonhomie there, what are the areas of partnership that India and US can explore under the new administration? And more importantly, H-1B visas or immigration issues have been a big point of, or visa issues have been a big point of concern for some of our big corporates. What's the way forward? Do you believe this is a rhetoric that will die down? This is a rhetoric that's going to be taken care of because of the talent crunch that perhaps exists in the US, or is this for real and people need to brace up for new business models?
Well, there's a very, very strong lobby for the H-1B program in the United States on the part of corporate executives who benefited from it. And I think we can make a very clear case that we ought to expand the program, that it is vital to our economic success going forward. One of the things I believe that's happened in the past is we've had in recent years a debate about a new piece of legislation on immigration, is that the advocates of getting legislation passed have wanted to tie it to an expansion of the H-1B program legislatively. And so that the advocates of reforming the immigration program use that as a lever, if you will. It hasn't passed up to this point, partly because we haven't gotten a bill yet that could be agreed to with respect to the total immigration set of issues. So it'll still be around a debate, but I think the lobby is very, very strong on H-1B visas, and I wouldn't be at all surprised by what it will. I think it's strong enough that the administration will have to pay attention to it.
Indeed.
I've got another commitment. So
I do. I'm taking a last question with you, and this is on U.S. Federal Reserve. Rate hike cycle started, 1 year left for Janet Yellen. So I'm going to ask you two quick questions. Do you believe the Fed has been behind in hiking rates? Because their target is 3%, they're just at 1% right now, despite a 1.5-year cycle of rate hikes. And B, how much of political weight will the Trump administration carry in the appointment of the next Fed Reserve chief? Janet Yellen has a year going for her now.
Well, on the first question, I should ask my friend Marty Feldstein.
Well,
he can answer that.
Shortly.
I don't believe I think the Fed has been doing about as well as that could be expected. I was a big fan of Alan Greenspan. He was a close friend, and that's how I think of the Fed. Secondly, with respect to your second question, the President will nominate Fed chairman. It has to go up for confirmation. But and when I worked as vice president, I was part of a panel that interviewed candidates for that job and then made recommendations to the president. But so President Trump will play a significant role in and choosing who will be the next chairman of the Fed.
And politics will have a big role to play there.
Well, it's usually not a Republican-Democrat kind of thing. You're looking for somebody who's got the professional credentials to be able to manage the Federal Reserve System, and that usually ends up with somebody who's been very successful in the economic field.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.